welcome back to this very, 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 very special edition of the Good Morning Nigeria show. It is a special day for us for three things. So 3 times a celebration, if I can put it that way. First of all, of course, we're celebrating the birthday of Nigeria, 55 years, not a joke. And of course, our sister stations, Nigeria Info, the #1 talk, news and sports station in the whole of Nigeria. And I dare say the world is celebrating today. And as promised earlier on, we have one of the star presenters. You know her. You probably... do you know her? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, please make very, very welcome back Mrs. Tolulope Adeleru Balogun.
You know what I have missed the most with Tolu is
the pause.
The way you say your name.
Tolulope. No, it's like this. Tolulope Adeleru Balogun.
Yes, now the emphasis has to be there. My father worked hard for the name, and my husband is working very hard for the name too.
It's not a name that you can forget.
No.
How are you, Tolu?
I'm great. I've missed you guys. You guys are looking absolutely gorgeous this morning.
And
Beautiful.
you too. You look lovely.
Very yummy mom meeting, sexy mother of one.
So we all know that you ditched us for radio, back to radio, and I mean, what drew you back? There's something that keeps drawing you back to that.
Do you really want the official answer, or you want the answer in the emails?
Okay, so every time you try to leave, something keeps drawing you back, telling you they need you in their life. We need you too.
So
I said we should do a custody arrangement, a sharing arrangement, but management have not agreed.
State your cause. Say it now.
Yes, say it now. But it's back. It's great actually to really be back on radio. It's also sad that I've missed TV with you ladies as well. So, you know, every once in a while like this, let me just come and say hi.
So celebrating 4 years of outstanding information.
Wow.
We know that you have been, I mean, one of the people who have been there from the beginning or, you know, started and made your mark in radio. So people watching out there will want to know, how has it been? What's the experience been like?
It's been interesting. One of the things definitely is that Nigerians love to talk. So having a talk station that's 24 hours, 7 days a week of talk is something that people automatically geared themselves towards. But then you also have some situations sometimes where you have to be able to streamline the talk. Because if you open up the phone lines like we tend to do, people will just pick A, somebody will go and pick Z, somebody will go and pick Q, and there'll just be so many different opinions, and then somebody else will come and tell you when something happened in Gogorogo, 1955, in 1861, my grandfather. So it's just interesting hearing Nigerians' opinions, and it's an opportunity. This is an opportunity that has never been afforded to radio listeners in Nigeria to actively share their thoughts and to even be able to direct those thoughts to decision makers and the thought leaders and the politicians and those at the head of some of the organizations in the country that make decisions. So they have an opportunity to tell them directly what they think.
The most interesting thing for me about Nigeria Info is the fact that they have very, very dedicated callers. At about 4 a.m.
Callers are the celebrities as well at times,
Very true.
right?
Very true.
Yes.
Just before we go on, because I'm sure some people at home are wanting to call in and speak to, you know, the voice
And
they
say what?
love to hear.
Please,
So please, we want to open the phone lines right now. You'd like to call in, speak to Tolulope, or just send a big, you know, birthday shout out to 99.3 Nigeria Info. The numbers to call are flashing on your television screen, but just in case you need to hear them, 01277 8196. 012772196 and 012777196. Please call us, or you can tweet at us at night.
I was reading news earlier this week. I finished it. I was like, "This is Good Morning Nigeria."
And then you flip to the other side.
And then I go to Cool FM sometimes to read news, and I'll say, "This is Nigeria Info," and then I'll say, "This is Good Morning Nigeria on Cool TV." I'm like, I have split personalities. Too much.
I'd love to ask because you know we're looking at the journey, we're reflecting in terms of independence here in Nigeria, but now also Nigeria Info. It's been on a journey as well. People that listen, I'm sure they've heard people, they love people, they've had to see them go.
Yeah.
Talk to us a bit about that journey from, you know, where has Nigeria come to now when you look back to where it was to today?
As in the country, obviously, we're not exactly where we want to be. Even the president has said that. He just finished speaking about less than an hour ago, and he said that we're not where we want to be. We're not where countries that don't have as much potential as us are. So we have to acknowledge the fact that we have not grown at the pace that we'd like to, and especially in the 21st century where growth is phenomenal. It's like this. Countries change overnight for some places. But we are progressing. We're no longer, I don't want us to say that it's a nascent democracy or it's a nascent nation. I don't like that term because it makes it feel like we're going to be infantile for a very long time. We have grown. There has been change. And I particularly think I've seen change in Nigerians, and particularly in the democratic space, there's been change in the mentality of Nigerians. 2007, the elections, I was working with another television station then, and watching how Nigerians became so much more involved in the democratic process. Then 2011, the involvement was much more, and people realizing that the power is in their hand, in their thumbprint, in their voter registration card. And so there was an active engagement of the polity, not as much as we would like, but definitely more than we've seen in decades past. So apathy is reducing. So that is where Nigeria will grow. As we realize that it's not just about going out to vote on that day. After the vote, there's an engagement of the politicians, of the civic leaders. There's a responsibility to hold them accountable for the things they made promises on in the campaign promises. What's happened last night? Everybody saw it on social media. The list was the huge thing. And people were questioning whether he kept his promise by sending the list to the Senate or the promise was actually in announcing a cabinet and having a cabinet take off in September. So those things where we're remembering what politicians have promised us and holding them accountable, that is where we'll start to grow because then people will have to work based on what they said.
You notice that within the radio, this apathy that you're saying has declined. If you look back at when you first joined Nigeria Info and you look at the callers that you have, the discussions that you have as well, do you think that Nigeria Info, without tooting your own horn, has been involved with, let's say, awakening the nation to be more, let me question what that politician is doing. You said this, how come that hasn't happened? Do you feel that Nigeria Info really is, leading the way in making Nigerians less apathetic and, more aware of what's going on in their country?
I think we are. I think we're leading the vanguard and moving forward. Part of it is that we are becoming much more questioning of our political office holders. Somebody said the other day that it's not the office that makes the position, it's the office holder that makes the position. I tend to disagree because if you're not someone who came in with a plan, who has an interest in leading and serving, then the office will make you. And you tend to be, the office will then tend to be what you make of it. But I think we are getting better. I share this story. When we first started Nigeria Info, we started an environmental program called Green Hour that runs on Thursday mornings. And the first few weeks, people would call up and say, why are we dedicating an hour and a half to environmental issues? That there are greater things for us to talk about in Nigeria. Don't you know that children are out of school? There's insurgency. And we were over the course of 6 months into a year doing Green Hour with Desmond, who comes here as well, able to show Nigerians that if you ignore the environment, the issues that you're concerned about concerning education, concerning security, concerning food security, all of those things are tied to the environment. And so over the past few years, I've seen a gradual awakening and changing of Nigerians' mentalities towards the environment. So it may not happen a week that you discuss it, but over the years, 4 years now that we've been doing this, I've seen that change in the way some people talk. Not everybody's using regime anymore or ruling us because we're a democracy. A leader does not rule us. Right now they serve us and they lead. That is what it means to be in a democracy. And as we change with our mentality and the way we think about this, and I hope and I do believe that's what Nigeria Info has been able to do, then of course we're playing our part.
Now, have you been able to handle a lot? We hear the scholars calling, and we see them bash you sometimes. We hear them bashing anchors saying, even here on TV, someone has tweeted at me saying, I'm being very partisan at some point. And I'm like, how? I take the stories as I see them and I break them down to you, the way the papers report them. How are you able to deal with these callers without offending them?
And keeping your cool,
keeping your process, your calm. And
I had somebody call me a brat on radio one day.
Wow.
I cut him off immediately, and I told him that never in your life call me a brat. And until you are ready to call and publicly apologize, do not call again. Broadcasting has changed because before there was a distance between you and the caller. Yes, there's the physical distance, but there was also an emotional distance. Broadcasting has changed. I share my life on radio. We share our lives on TV. So there's an element in which the listeners and the audience know us. So it becomes sort of like a family situation where if someone is stepping out of line, I will call you on it. The job we have here is to be the gate, is to be the gatekeeper. Because I'm a gatekeeper does not mean I'm going to open the door and let everybody in. Yeah. Because if I let everybody in, I'm very sure very soon NBC will send a letter and say, sanction. Then that's a fine and that's a deduction. But the job is to keep the gate. And whether they understand it or not, that's the job you do and that's the job we do. What I always remember is that many people are calling from their own viewpoints. They're calling from the experiences that they've had. They're calling from the viewpoint of the emotional response or association they have with the stories or the situation. And I give them that. I tell them, call, let me know what you think, but remember to state it as your opinion. Don't call on my show and tell me that your opinion is fact. I won't stand for it. So I think a lot of me has become part of the show, so they know what to expect. I'm a very strong personality. I don't take nonsense on radio.
But that's what people will have come to love you about. Of course, you're always going to have the people that are like...
Always.
But
they're called haters. Get out of here.
As in, you're very popular on Twitter. We see the, it's mostly love and support, it seems that you get.
I think definitely people have come to respect you, and we mustn't forget, because if she wouldn't, blow her own horns, we will do it for you. Tolu is a multi-media personality, award-winning presenter, and of course she's also a trainer as well. So she has also been able to give back to people by teaching or training and letting them know. Only recently you've done a series of training, trying to let people know, not only in broadcasting, but even social media. That's how talented, this lady is. So sometimes you see her and I go, so you see Tolu, but indeed, she's such, an inspirational, strong woman that we celebrate, not just for her work on Nigeria Info, but also as a Nigerian. One of the people that we celebrate when we talk about the beauty and the richness of Nigerians and Nigeria as a country.
Woman Crush Thursday.
Wednesday. Well, it's our show. We can decide what we want.
Well, I left Onome in the studio, so I told her that from now on, everything is Nigerian music. So we're just going to be jamming. You guys know I love music. We're going to be jamming all day. As you talk, you insult me, you insult Nigeria, you call and you praise Nigeria. It's music and giveaways.
You people, food, please, because we're crossing over.
We have a drinks company. They've set up a bar. My studio is currently being decorated right now. There are 2 cakes and cupcakes coming our way. We're giving away a phone. I'm giving away a stay at Epe Resorts and Spa. I'm giving away hair straighteners, hair dryers, and men's clippers. Sorry, as I told them last week, you're undisqualified, unqualified, and non-qualified. Anybody who works with me, you're not qualified.
No, we don't work with you anymore. Now we
don't work with you. I still get the email, so that means you work with me.
Exactly. We listen. We're your listeners, Tolu. We're your fans. Please. What do I want? I want the Epe stay. Hey God, I need the holiday.
I need a holiday. Breakfast included.
All right, okay. We wish we could go on, and of course you can see when you put 4 of us together, we can talk from now till King will come. But Tolu, it's been great having you. Thank you so much.
We know it's strange being the one being asked questions. Right? I'm telling you, it's strange in the seat, and it's strange being asked questions. I don't like talking.
It's nice to get it. No,
yeah,
it's true.
Right. On that note, what would it be with Nigeria without a few untruths right there? We're celebrating. Tolu doesn't like talking. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, we're still celebrating Nigeria Info at 4, and also our other sister station, Cool FM, is 17.
We have a special guest. Becoming an adult.
I know, 1 more year to becoming an adult. But we'll find out what's made them the number1 hit music station for so long, still maintaining that top spot. But right now, we bring you the news here on Cool TV, your #1 breakfast TV station, and all-round station.
Just stop.
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.